Amara's heart pounded in her chest as she stared at the two figures before her. Mrs. Nunny and Chidi's. For a moment, time seemed to stand still in the doorway of the house. "My daughter," Mrs. Nunny stepped forward, but Amara took a step back. "You shouldn't be here." Amara's voice was steady. "Both of you need to leave." "Amara, please." Chidi's voice was soft and practiced. "Just hear us out. Think about our baby." The mention of the baby ignited something fierce within Amara. "Don't you dare use my child as a weapon against me, Chidi. Not after everything you've done. What has my son done that's so terrible?" Mrs. Nunny interjected, her voice rising. "Every marriage has its challenges. You can't just run away." "Challenges? Is that what we're calling abuse now?" said Amara. Before anyone could respond, Auntie Grace's voice rang out from behind them. She had returned home to find this confrontation at her doorstep. "What's going on here?" Mrs. Nunny turned to address her. "We've come to take my daughter-in-law home. She's carrying my grandchild." Auntie Grace's eyes narrowed as she moved to stand beside Amara. "Your daughter-in-law is home. And that child she's carrying deserves to grow up in a safe environment, not one where they might witness their father beating their mother." The accusation hung heavy in the air. Mrs. Nunny's face paled as she turned to look at her son. "Chidi?" For the first time, Chidi was speechless before he gathered the courage to speak. "Mama, it's not. I mean, I've changed. I'm getting help. Getting help." Amara's voice trembled with emotion. "I know you are cheating on me. You were probably with the same woman when you told me you were on a business trip. Is that your idea of getting help?" The revelation hit Mrs. Nunny like a physical blow. She staggered slightly, the weight of the information too hard for her to bear. "You don't understand," Chidi started, his voice rising with frustration. "I made mistakes, yes, but you're my wife. That's my child. You can't just leave." "I can and I will," Amara cut him off. "I am not your property, Chidi. This baby is not your property. And I will not let my child grow up thinking it's normal to hurt the people you claim to love." Auntie Grace stepped forward. "I think it's time for you both to leave. Amara has made her choice. If you truly care about her and the child, you'll respect that choice." Mrs. Nunny's eyes filled with disappointment as she looked between her son and daughter-in-law. The strong, confident woman who had arrived ready to bring her daughter-in-law home now seemed uncertain, shaken by the revelations. "Mama," Amara's voice softened slightly. "I know you want what's best for your grandchild. But what's best isn't always what's expected. What is best is a mother who is strong, healthy, and alive." Mrs. Nunny's expression shifted. She apologized to Amara for all her son had put her through, then she reached out and grabbed Chidi's arm. "Let's go now." "Mama." Chidi protested, but his mother's grip tightened. She was filled with disappointment and shame for what her son did. Amara felt overwhelmed and Auntie Grace wrapped her in a protective embrace. "You did it," Auntie Grace whispered. "You stood your ground. You spoke your truth." Tears flowed freely down Amara's cheeks. They were tears of freedom, of finally being heard. That evening, as the sun set over Abuja, Amara sat in the garden, writing in her journal. "Dear baby, today I fought for us both. I showed everyone that I am a woman of strength and dignity. Your grandmother got to find out about the horrible things your dad did to me. And in her eyes, I saw she was hurt for all the troubles her son put me through. Sometimes, the bravest thing we can do is show people our scars and stand firm in our truth." The days following, Amara received persistent phone calls and messages from Chidi, pleading with her to reconsider her decision. Chidi's parents decided to put a call across to Amara. They pleaded on behalf of their son and asked that she comes back to her marriage. They promised her that they will ensure Chidi doesn't ever treat her badly again. "He's getting help, Amara. He's been seeing a counselor and attending anger management classes. Please, just give him one more chance." Amara didn't know how to respond to her in-laws. Chidi disturbed Amara with messages, each one more desperate than the last. I miss you. I'm sorry for everything. Our baby needs both parents. I'm not the same man anymore. Please come home. Amara was tired of Chidi's frequent messages. Amara's mother joined in urging a reconciliation. My daughter, he's really changed. I've seen it with my own eyes. He comes to check on me frequently and he buys me nice gifts and groceries for the house. Auntie Grace watched with concern as Amara's resolve began to waver. Are you sure you want to return back to your husband? She asked one evening, when they both had a discussion. Men like Chidi, they know how to say the right things. I know, Amara sighed. But what if he has changed? Don't I owe it to our baby to at least try? Auntie Grace gave her reasons why she shouldn't go back to Chidi, but she knew only Amara could make her decision. The decision came after a particularly emotional video call with Chidi. He showed her the journal his therapist had asked him to keep and the renovations he had done to their home. I'm building a nursery for our baby, he said. I want to be the father our child deserves. 2 weeks later, Amara found herself back in Lagos, standing in front of their house. The walls had been freshly painted, the garden replanted with her favorite flowers. Inside, the nursery was painted in soft colors, stuffed animals arranged carefully in one corner. The first few months were like a dream. Chidi was attentive, gentle, everything she had hoped he would be. He attended most prenatal appointments, massaged her swollen feet, cooked when she was too tired. Their home was filled with laughter again, and Amara began to believe that people really could change. During this time, James continued to check on her. His messages were respectful, friendly. He wasn't happy that Amara returned to her husband, but he decided to be there for her. Amara responded occasionally, keeping things light and casual. She told herself there was nothing wrong with maintaining a friendship with the man who had shown her kindness when she needed it most. But paradise began to crack one Sunday afternoon. Amara had fallen asleep on the couch with her phone on the table. A message notification lit up the screen. I miss our talks, Amara. You're one of the strongest people I know. Hope you're truly happy. Chidi saw the message. Something dark and familiar flickered in his eyes. He tapped Amara to wake up. Who's James? His voice was deceptively calm. Amara woke with a start, immediately sensing the change in atmosphere. He's just a friend. Someone who helped me when we had issues. Do you mean when you abandoned your marriage? Chidi's voice rose slightly. When you ran away from your husband. Chidi, please, Amara sat up carefully. He's just a friend. Delete his number. The words came out like ice. Block him. No. Amara replied. I'm not going to cut off someone who was kind to me just because you're feeling insecure. Chidi threw the glass he was holding against the wall, making Amara jump. Insecure? I'm your husband. You're carrying my child. And you're messaging other men. Just like that, the facade crumbled. The old Chidi emerged, his face filled with rage. Is that why you really came back? To make a fool of me? Stop it. Amara's voice was firm despite her racing heart. You promised. You swore you had changed. He laughed bitterly. You're the one who needs to change. Disrespecting me, talking to other men. As his voice grew louder, Amara felt her baby kick inside her. The movement brought her back to reality. This was exactly what she had feared, exactly why she had left in the first place. With trembling hands, she reached for her phone, but Chidi was faster. He snatched it away, scrolling through her messages with James. You're one of the strongest people I know, he read mockingly. What else have you been telling him about me? About our marriage? Give me my phone, Chidi. Amara's voice was steady, even though she was really scared. Instead, he smashed her phone on the floor. No more messages. No more James. You're my wife, and you will behave like one. She wasn't ready for any trouble. She wanted to protect her baby. She made to go upstairs. Chidi pulled her back. Chidi's face darkened. "You're not going anywhere. Who gave you the audacity to walk out on me?" Before Amara could say a word, Chidi slapped her. Amara stood, gathering her strength. She moved toward the stairs, her heart pounding but her steps steady. Chidi grabbed her arm tightly. "Let go of me," she said calmly, even as fear coursed through her veins. Chidi started hitting her. Amara was crying and reminding Chidi of the baby, but he didn't listen. She ran fast to the stairs to save her baby, but Chidi ran after her and pulled her with force. She missed her steps and rolled to the floor. She felt an excruciating pain from her stomach. In that moment, everything blacked out. When Amara regained consciousness, she found herself in the hospital bed. The doctor came to check up on her. "Madam, you came in here in a bad condition, but thankfully we were able to stabilize you. How are you feeling now?" Amara was able to speak, though she felt weak. "I feel slight pains in my body and I feel kind of weak." "Please doctor, I hope my baby is okay?" The doctor had a sad face. He tried to be careful in breaking the bad news to her. "I am sorry, but we were not able to save your baby. We tried our possible best. Please try to be strong." Amara felt her world crumbling. Tears streamed down her face. She couldn't believe her child was gone because she decided to give Chidi another chance. She hated him and regretted the day she met him. She felt physical and emotional pains. All she could do was sob silently. After some minutes, Mrs. Comfort walked into the hospital room with the food she got for Amara. She met her daughter in a bad state. "Mummy, I lost my baby," Amara said, tears flowing down her cheeks. Mrs. Comfort felt the pains of her daughter. She consoled her and ensured her that she will be with her through this difficult time. Chidi tried to visit Amara, but he could only get access into the hospital but not into her room because there was an order from Mrs. Comfort given to the staffs not to allow him into her daughter's room. Mrs. Comfort ensured Chidi didn't see her daughter. Chidi's parents came to visit Amara in the hospital. They asked for her forgiveness for encouraging her to go back to their son. They felt very bad because they just lost their first grandchild and they were disappointed at who Chidi had become. It wasn't easy, but Amara forgave them because she knew it wasn't their fault. After a week, Amara was discharged from the hospital. With the help of her mum, she started regaining back herself. She went back to live with her mother. The scent of fresh palm oil stew smelled out of the kitchen as Mrs. Comfort stirred the pot, occasionally glancing out the window at her daughter. Amara sat on the wooden bench beneath the mango tree. She was making use of her newly acquired phone, browsing through the internet to make herself happy. It had been a week since she returned from the hospital, since the day she lost her baby, since the day she promised herself she would never go back to Chidi. "It's time to eat," Mrs. Comfort called. Amara looked up, her eyes still carrying that distant look that broke her mother's heart. "I'm not hungry, Mama." "You haven't been hungry since you got back," Mrs. Comfort replied firmly. "But your body needs strength. Come, just try to eat a small portion." With a sigh, Amara made her way inside the house. Her movements were slow, as if she was still carrying the weight of her grief in every step. As she settled in the sitting room, her phone began to ring. "I hope that's not him again," Mrs. Comfort frowned, setting down a plate of delicious food in front of her daughter. Amara glanced at the screen and sighed. The 15th call today. "Give me that phone," Mrs. Comfort demanded, her patience clearly worn thin. "I'll tell that useless boy to stop disturbing my daughter." Before Amara could protest, her mother had snatched the phone and answered the call, her voice rising with each word. "Chidi, how dare you continue to harass my daughter after what you've done? Have you no shame? Have you no conscience? You took her child, my grandchild, from this world with your wicked hands." Amara watched, a mixture of embarrassment and gratitude washing over her as her mother continued yelling at him. She could hear Chidi's desperate pleas through the phone, promises of change, declarations of love, the same words she had fallen for once before. "Mama, it's okay," Amara finally said, reaching for the phone. Mrs. Comfort wasn't finished. "Listen here, Chidi. My daughter is healing in my house, away from your poison. If I see you anywhere near this compound, what happened last time will seem like child's play." Amara's eyes widened. Last time? What was her mother talking about? After ending the call, Amara was curious. Mama?" Amara asked cautiously. "What did you mean by what happened last time?" A mischievous smile crept across Mrs. Comfort's face. "That fool had the nerve to come here 3 days after you returned from the hospital. You were sleeping. He brought flowers and was crying at the gate, begging to see you. I took my bucket of washing water and poured it on him. And I threatened him that next time it would be acid." Despite everything, Amara found herself laughing for the first time in weeks. The image of her proper, church-going mother dousing Chidi with soapy water was both shocking and satisfying. "Oh, Mama," she said, wiping tears of laughter from her eyes. "Eat your food," Mrs. Comfort insisted. "A good laugh is medicine, but good food is strength." The next day, while Amara was relaxing watching TV, there was a knock from the front door. "I'll get it," she told her mother, who asked who was at the door. Amara went to go check who it was. When she opened the door, James stood there, a smile on his face and a small gift bag in his hands. "James," she breathed, surprised. "How did you—" "Your mother called me," he admitted, looking slightly embarrassed. "She said you might need a friend." Amara shook her head. She couldn't deny the small flutter of warmth at seeing a friendly face that wasn't connected to Chidi. "Come in," she offered, stepping aside. They sat in the living room, an awkward silence hanging between them until James handed her the gift bag. "I hope you like it." Amara smiled as she collected the gift bag. "Thank you," she said. "I've been worried about you," James admitted. "I heard what happened with the baby." "I'm so sorry, Amara." She nodded, unable to form words to tell him. "I don't want to intrude," he continued. "I just wanted you to know that you have people in your corner. And if you need anything at all, I'm here." That afternoon, they talked for hours and they enjoyed each other's company. Before he left, he invited her to lunch the following week. Just as friends, he assured her. A change of scenery might do you good. After he left, Mrs. Comfort emerged from her room with a knowing smile. "That young man has a good heart," she observed. "And he brings out your smile." "Mama, he's just a friend," Amara protested. "Did I say otherwise?" Mrs. Comfort replied innocently. "Now, come help me with dinner." Chidi kept stalking and disturbing Amara with calls and messages. Amara was finally pushed to reply his messages because she was tired of him. In the message, she warned him to never call her again, and she informed him that she spoke to her lawyer and the divorce papers will be sent to him. She warned him never to try contacting her again, if not she will get a restraining order against him. When Chidi saw the message, he was shocked that Amara could think of divorcing him. His house felt extremely empty that day. He felt miserable, so he consoled himself with some bottles of alcohol until he finally fell asleep. Out of frustration, Chidi tried to reconnect back to Mercy, his mistress. He wasn't sure that Mercy will take him back because they had a fallout the last time, because Mercy demanded for a very huge sum of money to invest in a business project and Chidi didn't give in to her demands. He decided to try his luck by calling Mercy to ask for another chance. When Mercy answered the call, she was nonchalant. Through the conversation, she told him if he wants to be with her again, he should invest in her business project. Chidi didn't want to lose her again, so he accepted to give her the money for her business project. Chidi went over to Mercy's house and he sent her the money. She was so happy and she professed her love to him. Chidi decided that even if he couldn't be with Amara, he wouldn't lose Mercy too. As time went on, Chidi got worried because Mercy didn't really have time for him. She would sometimes leave his messages unread for days and return his calls whenever she pleases. He wanted them to spend some time together, but Mercy said she was busy. Chidi was surprised to get a call from Mercy, but he also felt relieved she remembered him. "Hi baby, how have you been?" said Chidi. "I'm not fine. In fact, I've been through a lot." "What is the matter?" "I hope you're okay. Tell me what happened." "I need some more money for my business project. I have exhausted the last one you sent to me." She demanded another big sum of money. Chidi couldn't believe his ears. The money he sent to her the last time was huge, and here she was demanding for more money after she had been neglecting him all this while. "I'm sorry, Mercy, I can't give you such an amount. I also have my projects I'm working on and it's been taking most of my finances." Mercy immediately got angry. "So you mean you won't give me the money? I thought you claimed to love me." "Of course I love you, but it doesn't always have to be about finances." After using her manipulation skills, she convinced Chidi to send her the money. Mercy returned back to ignoring Chidi after she had received the money. Chidi was tired of feeling fooled, so he decided to go to Mercy's house and pour out his feelings. When he got there, he saw the door unlocked, so he went into the house. He overheard Mercy talking with another lady and he heard his name being mentioned, so he quietly listened to the conversation. He was surprised and shocked at what he heard. Mercy told the lady the money she has been collecting from Chidi and how she plans to keep on collecting more money from him. They both laughed in excitement. "My dear, you are so lucky to have a man like that. I wish I have a man like him. I would have been deceiving him to pay all my bills. Please remember to find your girl something." Mercy responded, "Don't worry, you will find your own man you will deceive and get money from, and of course I will send you some money." Chidi couldn't bring himself to listen any further. He wanted to leave, but Mercy heard a noise from the door, and when she got there she was shocked to see him. "Baby, welcome. How long have you been here?" "I have been here long enough to hear everything you think about me, how you have been using me just for my money." "Please baby, it's not what you think. I can explain." "I don't want to hear anything you have to say. It's over between us. If you try to contact me, I will get you arrested." Mercy fell to the floor crying, begging for forgiveness, but Chidi ignored her and left her house. Chidi headed straight to a bar and drank himself to stupor. He was experiencing heartbreak from Mercy, who deceived him. He realized how much money he had invested into Mercy. This was funds that were supposed to be used for his family car company, and he was left to bear the losses alone. He also thought about Amara, who had already served him divorce papers. He thought of his unborn child with Amara, who through his anger couldn't come into existence. His whole life was crumbling and he felt depressed and worthless. Over the next few weeks, James became a regular visitor. He took Amara to quiet cafes where they could talk without the pressure of a formal date. With each outing, each conversation, Amara felt pieces of herself returning, not the same as before, but perhaps stronger in the broken places. He brought her marketing journals and helped her update her portfolio. James mentioned an open position at Meridian Marketing, the firm where he worked as a creative director. "You'd be perfect for it," he insisted. "Your portfolio from your previous job is impressive, and we need someone with your eye for detail." She was so happy and grateful for the opportunity to get back to pursuing her career. The day she submitted her application to Meridian Marketing, James surprised her with a small celebration at her mother's house, complete with a cake that read, "New Beginnings." "You didn't have to do this," Amara said, touched by the gesture. Mrs. Comfort happily joined them in cutting the cake. "My daughter, you deserve to be celebrated." 2 days later, Amara received a call for an interview. She couldn't help but feel nervous and hopeful at the same time that she will secure the job. The interview was challenging but exhilarating. Throughout the interview, Amara discussed campaign ideas, analyzed market trends, and demonstrated her knowledge of digital marketing platforms. When she left the Meridian office, she felt something she hadn't in months: pride. Chidi stood outside the bar, his tie loosened, his eyes bloodshot from lack of sleep. The restraining order he had received from Amara earlier that day came as a shock. He ordered a bottle of whiskey. As the burning liquid coursed down his throat, Chidi scrolled through old photos on his phone, pictures of him and Amara on their wedding day, on vacations, ordinary moments that now seemed like glimpses of another life. Reality came crashing down on him. He remembered when his therapist had warned him about this moment, the point where the gravity of his actions would truly hit him. "What have I done to myself? I have destroyed my life, my marriage and my family business." Chidi fell into depression and made alcohol his best friend. The company suffered major losses. Chidi's parents had to step in because Chidi wasn't fit and competent to manage the business anymore. Chidi parents had to check Chidi into a rehab since he had turned into an alcoholic. 3 days later, while having lunch with James at a small restaurant near her mother's house, Amara's phone rang. It was Gloria from HR at Meridian. "Hello, Amara," the woman said. "I'm calling to offer you the position of Senior Marketing Strategist at Meridian Marketing. The board was quite impressed with your interview and believes you'd be an excellent addition to our team. James watched as Amara's expression transformed from anxiety to shock to pure joy. When she ended the call, she sat in stunned silence for a moment before bursting into tears. "I got it," she whispered, disbelief coloring her voice. "I actually got the job." James reached across the table, squeezing her hand. "Of course you did. Congratulations, dear." That evening, Amara sat with her mother on the veranda, watching the sunset. "I'm proud of you," Mrs. Comfort said, her voice soft. "So proud." Amara leaned her head against her mother's shoulder, the way she used to as a child. "I couldn't have done it without your encouragement." They embraced each other and was happy for the second chance at life. 6 months later, Amara stood in her new apartment, surveying the space with satisfaction. The walls were painted a soft yellow, the color of hope, her mother had said. Photographs of her with friends and family adorned the walls, testaments to the life she was rebuilding. Amara placed a phone call to Auntie Grace. They had been in communication and Auntie was genuinely happy for her niece. She also offered her support and encouragement. Her job at Meridian was challenging and fulfilling. She had already led 2 successful campaigns and had been invited to speak at an industry conference the following month. Her colleagues respected her ideas and her approach to digital marketing. James had become an important part of her life, though they had agreed to take things slowly. He understood her need for independence, for time to heal, and never pushed for more than she was ready to give. Their relationship was built on mutual respect and genuine friendship. Chidi's family kept communications with Amara. They also informed her that Chidi had entered a residential treatment program for anger management and alcohol dependency. Part of her hoped he would find the help he needed, not for her sake, but for his own and for any future relationships he might have. After the call with Chidi's family, Amara got a message from James informing her to get ready, that he was coming to pick her up for dinner. In an hour time she heard a knock at the door. It was James, arriving for their dinner plans. "Ready to go?" he asked, his smile warming her heart. Amara took one last look around her apartment, her space, her sanctuary, before nodding. "Yes," she replied, "I'm ready." As they walked out together, Amara reflected on the journey that had brought her here. From the darkest moments of her life had emerged a strength she hadn't known she possessed, a clarity about what she deserved, and a commitment to never settle for less again. And for the first time in a very long time, the future looked bright with possibility.
Hello, our amazing subscribers, and new subscribers to come. I hope you enjoyed our suspenseful and mind-blowing episode 2. Please share with us the lessons you have learnt from this story in the comment section, as this will help us connect with every one of you. We truly appreciate your support. Please share, like and subscribe to this channel for more entertaining stories. We love you.